Hello, it's me, itzanowski, and today I will tell you if I'm finally a rock star after releasing another album or not. So, first of all, of course, I'm a rock star because, that's a state of mind and a lifestyle. And I might have the state of mind already, but not the lifestyle. But anyway, let's talk about how releasing and promoting the DIY debut album of an unsigned Riot Girl grunge band in 2024 went. So that sounds like a lot, but let me show you these things. So we will be talking about what I tried to promote, like what my goal and motivations actually were. Then what marketing tactics, let's say, I tried, what worked, what didn't really work, and what I would recommend. And in the end, my conclusion. So first of all, what did I even try to promote? So the band, actually my third band, is called Cat Piss Potion, and we released our very first album. And the album is called Millennial Breakdown, and it was a complete DIY production, DIY recording production, everything. Our guitarist did that. And we ended up with 10 songs that went on the album. So it was around half an hour long. The genre is, we always describe it as Riot Girl grunge because, it sounds quite grungy, but also very punk at times. And the main lyrical themes are depression and feminism. So, I'm writing from my perspective as a woman, so I have a lot to say about the patriarchy and stuff. So that's where the Riot Girl comes from. And I'm also heavily influenced by Riot Girl bands from the 90s. I used to listen to that a lot and still do. So, On the right-hand side here, you can see our album cover. That's a picture I took with my phone of a Polaroid pic that shows me. And, I'm not going to go into detail with what the album is about, what the album cover is and all of that, because let me know if you're interested in that. But there's a lot of lore behind everything. And I wanted to keep it, about the marketing in this video. Okay, let's talk about my goals and my motivation, because I think it's very important to understand them before we move forward and, look at what I did. And, it's always good to know why you're doing something. And my goals were, first of all, just to see how far I can get without a label, because we're not signed. That is let's not say this is by choice, because I don't know if anyone would be interested in working with us. But we haven't tried, and I'm not interested. So that's definitely by choice that we have not tried. And I wanted to see how far I can get, like on my own, without a label, big or small, behind us. And I also wanted to, find new listeners, because it's our first release. We're a small band, so it's always good to find new listeners. But, I wanted to find new listeners not because, I want to make so much money or whatever, but because I want people to hear the music. Like, I want people to listen to what we've created, because I'm very proud, especially, as a singer, when you write your own lyrics, this album is deeply personal and I want people to listen to it. So that's why I want to find new listeners. And also I wanted to try to promote it as much as possible, just like I said, out of curiosity, like what will happen, like how far, what can I even do? Like I researched a lot of things now before the release. And, what's also important to state is that we were not trying to become famous and try to make a living with music, because then I think you should probably think about things differently than we did. But, that was not a goal. That it was clear that for us it's a hobby. And that I think influences a lot of your decisions when you want to promote your music. So what did I try? I tried releasing multiple singles before the album, and the goal behind that was to be featured on editorial playlists. So we're mainly talking about Spotify here. So I don't use Spotify. I use Tidal. I don't know if they will shut down their business or not, but using Tidal at the moment. And Spotify is the app that everybody uses, and I try to release multiple singles to have higher chances that one of these songs, because you can only pick one song per release, that one of these songs that we pitch just gets on a playlist, because that is a very easy way for other people to find you. Then I also sent the album to multiple music blogs, review websites, and all of that kind of stuff to get a chance to have a music review published before the release, or on the release date or whatever. And I did so via OneDrive. There were all the files, and also Bandcamp codes. So the Bandcamp album was private, but you could send codes for people to redeem. And this is how I emailed and messaged people. So for songs that were already released, I submitted them to playlisters on SubmitHub. And SubmitHub is a website where you can submit your songs to playlisters, and it does cost money. So you also have free credits, but I think they're not very effective. But let's see how effective all of that was later. Then we also made social media posts about that, our album will be released. By the way, it released on October 17. When it was released, we had infos about the lyrics and all of that. So just some social media posts to market the album. What we also did was a release party or a release show on the date of the release. So, I organize shows as a hobby as well. So I took care of that, and we managed to play a show in our town in Dortmund on the day of the release. So we also made special merch. We had a new design, also designed by our drummer, like the last one, and printed that on a couple of t-shirts, a couple of different colors that matched the album cover, and sold them at our release show. Then, this is kind of, well, yes, but no, because we did make a physical release, but these are all homemade tapes, just 30 hand number tapes. So we don't have a physical release, a vinyl that you can buy in some record stores or online or whatever. We just have a couple of tapes that, we just made for very interested fans. But I think it's really cute, so actually I can show it to you. So we have the album cover, the songs, and actually this nice millennial pink. Really not that easy to see. Yeah, holding it against me, it's millennial pink. Really cute. Then there are two things that we could have done, something that many people do, but didn't make sense for us. And the first one is music videos. So it would have been cool to make one, but honestly, I picked the worst time to have an album release because, I had to do all the marketing, organize that show, all of that. And I was away for 2 weeks at the end of September. So I was in Madrid and then in Sardinia. And 2 weeks later, we had the release show, and we still had to make merch and all of that. So I was busy. I was gone, and then I was busy. So we did not have time for music videos. Also before that, there were a lot of shows that we played. No time for that. And kind of the same thing with the tour. So, I'm not talking about a world tour coming to the US or anything, but, planning a 1 week tour, or at least, 3 days on the weekend or something. We didn't actually plan anything like this because I don't have any more vacation days because I had so much vacation this year. We have 30 vacation days, but still. And it's also really hard to coordinate with a whole band when you want to do this. So we didn't want to do it now maybe we will do it in the future, like go on a short tour. DIY, of course, I would do the booking, but we didn't do it this time. So now probably the most interesting part, what worked and what didn't work for us. So what actually worked well was Instagram. So our own posts and also posts from other people. So kind of this ties in with the review stuff, but so a friend of mine has a really big punk magazine in Germany, Plastic Bomb fanzine, and we asked her to make a little review video. And she did that, as an Instagram reel and YouTube short. And that reel gained a lot of attention, like way more than, our own posts would have. It was really nice when she posted this. So first of all, yes, I liked her review. And second of all, like there were some people in the comments who said, yeah, I saw that band live. They were really good and stuff like that, which was awesome. By having someone with a way bigger account post about you, that really helped. Also, the posts that we did, they were well received. Especially, people always say users on Instagram love to see people. And, when I posted pictures from our release show, they had a lot of likes. So I guess it must be true. But, Instagram was a great way for us to just, promote the album a little bit. So if you're someone who is on TikTok all day, maybe TikTok is the right app for you. I'm using Instagram all day. I'm a millennial with my Millennial Breakdown. So, And yeah, I already told you about the pictures from the release show, but the release show itself worked really well. It was really packed. There were a lot of people already coming at 6 p.m. because that was the time on the flyer, but we were actually not done with the sound checks of all bands. And yeah, it was really amazing to see that people came so early. So many people came. It was a Thursday night local show. So I was really happy. And also, we picked the bands that we would play with, but the bands Spliss, also from Dortmund, and Spuk from Köln were really great. And we had this really beautiful poster also designed by our drummer, so I will put it up. And, I had that printed and we put it, around our rehearsal building and stuff like that. So yeah, the release show went well, was well received. We had good reviews written of that show. Yeah, so that was really great. Then on to the meh category. So I put Submit Hub here. I paid a lot of money to submit our songs. As a band, we don't get a lot of money for gigs and merch and stuff, but we also don't need a lot of money because we make our merch ourselves, the recordings, like all of that stuff that costs a little bit more. We're also not touring. I asked permission from my bandmates to use some of that money to just try and do some marketing stuff. And I did that on Submit Hub. And the issue is that, when the songs landed on a playlist by someone, it really helped. Like you could really see that if it's a popular playlist with a couple of thousand followers, you could really see that you will get a couple of new listeners. So that was fine. But to get on a playlist wasn't that easy because I think our songs didn't really fit what many people looked for. First of all, one thing a couple of people criticized was that, the production was a little rough. Some people stated right away. So, I did not submit our music. If people already said in their profile, I'm looking for really high value production, really well produced stuff. It's a DIY recording in the end. I understand if you're not looking for it. But even people who did not state that, some said, well, I really like your song, but, production is a little rough. So, go check out the album. I will link it and tell me, if it's unlistenable or not. But, as someone who listens to a lot of, 90s Riot Grrrl stuff, a lot of that stuff is not that, well produced or, not overproduced, basically. So I really like that sound. But yeah, so that was one issue we had. And yeah, I think also for some it was a little bit too experimental. So some people were more looking for, really chill vibes and, just something that can be played in the background and not really, invoke so many emotions or then different ones like happier music. I think chill vibes and just high production, nice indie sounds for the backgrounds is just not what we do. So yeah, I had some issues finding the right playlists for us. Then, as I said, we did not make music videos, but we did end up making some lyric videos because once you have one template, it's quite easy. And I put them in the Mac category because first of all, I still need to upload a couple of them. And, they did not get that many views because I think people need to be into your music first. So, they're interested in reading all of the lyrics. So, I mean, wasn't a lot of work to do that, but also did not really have a great result. So it's kind of like, yeah. And then also TikTok. So I tried making a couple of TikToks, and the problem is I don't use TikTok and I don't really feel familiar with, what to do or any trends or some stuff like that. And I find it quite hard to make a good TikTok then, to be honest. And I'm also not really motivated. So I just did some really low effort stuff where I would just talk into the camera for 1 minute and explain each of the songs, like the meaning behind them. Each one got like, I don't know, a couple of 100 views, couple of likes, like nothing much. So yeah, I mean, if you're motivated, I think TikTok is a great place to promote your music, but it's probably not for me. Okay, then let's move on to the reviews. Because they didn't work. We had one written review about the album, but that was by a friend of mine. So he usually reviews all of the music I put out. And I'm really happy and I'm really thankful for that. But, all of the emails and messages that I sent to all of the blogs and other websites, no reaction. I mean, yes, I was delulu enough to submit it to stuff like the Needle Drop. And I cannot understand how Fantano did not review it like in a separate YouTube video. Biggest album of the year. Yeah, but I mean, it took me some time to research, email, like whatever, put together that stuff. So it sucks that it has had, no result. But that's also what you have to live with. I mean, if you're a DIY band, nobody cares. So, but what I was actually upset about that it didn't work was, the releases, the different singles that we did to land on an editorial playlist, because we released 4 singles and then pitched 1 song from the album. So 5 out of 10 actually. And none of them was on any playlist. And while I did not really think like, yeah, of course we will be on a playlist, it was also a bit disappointing because I thought like at least 1. Come on. But no. So yeah, that was a summary of what worked or didn't really work. So what would I recommend then? Well, it depends on your budget, first of all, because some of the things do cost money. And yeah, it's, of course, depends on if you have that money, right? Then it also depends on your time, because while I did not spend that much money, I spent a lot of time, spent a lot of, time researching and, finding out how to do something, where to submit, what not to do, whatever, that took some time. So it depends on your time and budget. I would also recommend, regardless of time and budget, that you use social media because it is a good and free marketing tool. like I said, like with Instagram, we were lucky. With TikTok, if you put in some effort, I mean, after all, it's free, could be very useful. Of course, there are also other websites and other forums and whatever. So in general, just promoting your stuff somewhere, do it. So you can also use SubmitHub. I'm kind of torn, I think if you make the right kind of music and have the right kind of vibes and luck, it's still a good tool to use that, honestly, because if you can get a spot on playlists, it really helps, I think. And then I would also definitely recommend playing a release show. So that was probably the best thing that we did. And also playing a lot of shows in general. So I must add that while we're not going on a tour, we played last week, we'll play this weekend. So we played a lot of shows during the last couple of weeks and months. And that always helps because a lot of people just come to your show. It's a local show. Like, let's go there. They see you. They buy some merch. They hear that, oh, you're actually on Spotify. Ooh. Cat feeder. So they hear from you that you already have an album, that they can listen to it online, on Spotify, on Bandcamp, whatever. Yeah, that really helps. Also, if they see you live and it's a good show, they also know that it's worth coming to your gigs. So if you're back a couple of months later in the same town, they will probably be more likely to come to your show because they know it's going to be good. So definitely play live if you can. In the end, what is my conclusion? I think there are a lot of ways how you can promote your band for free or, with a small budget, even without a label. But, it takes a lot of time. You have to invest that time yourself, and it takes a lot of luck. Not sure, but I think probably luck is always the most important thing because, hard work does pay off, but sometimes you just need a little bit of luck. The nice thing about not having a label and doing everything yourself is that you have control over everything. Like, you are in control of, every message, every strategy, like all of that. And I like that. I'm a little bit of a control freak. So for all of the bands, I do the booking, I answer all of the messages, I post all of the stuff, keep track of our finances and all of that. So yeah, it takes a lot of time, to be honest, but it's a hobby, so it doesn't feel like work and like a chore or something. And I like that I know what's going on at all times, and there's not someone who knows about my stuff and I don't know about it. You know what I mean? So I think there's a type of people who just say like, oh no, I don't want to deal with all of the marketing and business side of being a musician. I just want to make music. And I'm like, okay, I want to know everything. I want to make my music and I want to have control over every decision because it's my music. I don't think there's a one side that is wrong. It's just, different kind of character or personality type. I don't know. So that for me is a huge advantage of not having anyone else involved in our band stuff. Only we as a band. But I probably have to be honest and say that if you really want, as much coverage as possible, as many listeners as possible, you should probably try to release your music via a label. Because even if it's small, I actually asked our drummer because she plays in a band that is signed with a label. And I asked her like, okay, I'm planning on doing this, and this, and that. Like, what else can I do? Do you have any tips for me? And she said, well, honestly, I think you are doing everything that a single person that is, not at a label or, involved in the music industry in any way can do. And on the one hand, that was reassuring, to hear that I'm already doing everything. On the other hand, it's kind of frustrating to know that, yes, there is this barrier. I can try a lot of things, but, I'm just not an industry professional. I don't have the same access to things as them. And, in the end, for me, that's okay. Because, like I said at the beginning, it's really important to understand your goals and your motivation and then align your actions according to that. And for me, it's more important to have control over everything and to just, see that as a hobby and try to get the music heard, but, still be involved as much as possible. And I don't have the goal of being super professional. And that's fine. That's fine for me. But it might be different for you. So I hope that that was interesting to you, that you could learn something and maybe think about what you want to achieve with your music and how you want to go about it, also from my experiences. And if you have any more tips, like if you are a DIY musician, if you release your stuff yourself, by the way, I released it via DistroKid. So I think there are a couple of services, but DistroKid is probably the most well known. And I'm also using this. So if you are like me, let me know what you have tried and let me know how that went. And if you have any tips, so it would be great to share some tips in the comments. And next release from this band would probably be an EP. I already have a concept in mind. And it's going to be emo again. All right, so hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe and stuff. And time for the bonus cat. Letty's favorite song of the album is Threat, because she's the dangerous baby. Bye.